Good afternoon. Welcome to the forecast discussion for January 24th, 2014. It's currently 1:12 p.m. It's the end of the week. It's a Friday, and of course, it's still cold out. But at least this weekend will feature more snow. Yes, it's the winter that just will not end. Now, currently this afternoon we have temperatures basically in the teens to lower 20s throughout the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. We just got new data in right now, and it's still cold, with wind chills around the single digits. So the point here today is that the Arctic air mass is in place, and more Arctic air is on the way. Luckily, though, it's completely dry today. Tonight, we'll see increasing clouds with winds shifting to the southwest ahead of a clipper. Temperatures won't be moving all that much. Lows by tomorrow morning, lower to mid-teens, so it's not that bad for tomorrow morning. It's not, at least 5 degrees below zero or something like that nature. But yeah, it's still cold. We do have a clipper on the way, currently on the radar. It's pretty dry out there, but you can see our clipper starting to enter the Great Lakes here, and we'll move through the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area tomorrow with the potential for some impressive snow squalls. Now, on the infrared satellite picture, you can see high pressure is pretty much in control at 1040 millibar high. That's pretty strong, and that's going to keep skies clear. This high pressure system is going to shift off the coast by tonight, allow winds to shift to the southwest, and that is going to keep us slightly warmer. The ahead of the cold front tomorrow will be a balmy 31 degrees in Philadelphia. I know, heat wave on the way. So temperatures are going to range from the upper 20s to lower 30s for highs, mid-30s right along the coast. It's going to feel a lot warmer because it's been 15 degrees almost all week. So it's definitely going to feel warmer, but really isn't all that much warmer. On the water vapor satellite picture, this is pretty impressive. Take a look at this disturbance. This is our polar jet just driving south. Here comes our polar vortex dropping south with it with a 972 millibar low. Very impressive upper level disturbance diving south, and this disturbance is going to move through the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan areas by tomorrow afternoon, producing periods of snow. We're going to have like one line of snow squalls. Think of this like a summertime cold front. We have a few scattered showers and then that one line of strong showers and isolated thunderstorms. That's essentially what we're having here, with scattered snow showers tomorrow and then one band of moderate, possibly even a little bit of heavy snow, with snowfall accumulations around the region anywhere from 1 to 4 inches. This band of heavy snow lasts roughly 30 to 45 minutes. So if you have plans tomorrow, don't cancel them. It's not the end of the world. Just don't be caught by surprise if you get into one of these heavy snow bands for about 30 minutes. It comes and goes, the visibility drops rapidly, and that's about it. This has my attention. This disturbance is poorly sampled, and so is this one, and so is this one, and they are going to be on the way. We're developing what's called a split pattern here. We have a strong ridge over the western coast of Canada, and you have these disturbances undercutting it. California probably will finally start getting some precipitation, maybe put a little bit of a dent in that drought. But notice the polar jet stream is very strong, with Arctic air just invading. So the cold air isn't going away. Anyone who tells you that the cold air is abating or leaving is wrong. More Arctic air is on the way, and just get used to this all the way through February. Meanwhile, our subtropical jet stream is getting a lot more active here, and that has me a little bit concerned for next week. Not greatly concerned, but I'm a little bit, well, we're going to have to keep an eye. I'm going to show you exactly what's going on with the GFS. But this is starting to get very interesting here. You get this subtropical jet stream going, you get the polar jet stream going. All you need now is just the right setup at 500 millibars. So here is the NAM model guidance from the Penn State UL website. I want to go here first for tomorrow. So essentially for tonight, have Arctic air in place. Temperatures are rather chilly. There's no debating that whatsoever. But we have a southwesterly wind, so we improve a little bit. Now, by Saturday afternoon, we have this Arctic cold front approaching. Notice winds out ahead of this are pretty strong from the southwest, ranging anywhere from about 10 to 20 miles per hour, increasing to 25 to 30 miles per hour right along the coastal waters here. What I want you to notice is this. These snow bands here. What we're basically going to have is this Arctic cold front move through tomorrow afternoon, and we'll change over to a period of scattered snow showers and then this one line of snow squalls. And this one line of snow squalls will be capable of producing 1 to 3 inches of snow in general. Isolated 1/4 inch might be possible in a few isolated locations. The key here is that it's going to reduce visibility for a short period of time below 2 miles. So if you run into this band, don't overreact, relax, drive slow, but it's going to be the marking of another Arctic air mass on the way, so that by Sunday, temperatures will range from the lower to mid-teens for lows, upper teens to lower 20s for highs, but at least it'll be dry. So we got that going for us for Sunday. So again, Saturday afternoon is going to be pretty interesting with this cold front moving through. We have a strong disturbance moving through with it. You can see that right here. Okay, at 500 millibars. So it's going to be a nice little burst of snow in the afternoon. It's going to come and go. Within 40 minutes, it's done. So again, don't change your plans. Just be aware that there's going to be a band of snow moving through the region. Then we have another clipper that's going to pass to the north on Monday. Again, not a major event, but just a few scattered snow showers. Could have a snow squall here or there as well. Temperatures range from the upper teens to lower 20s for lows, lower to mid 30s for highs. Then the cold air is in place for Tuesday. High pressure is in control. Temperatures don't move all that much. Single digits to lower teens for lows, upper teens to lower 20s for highs. Most locations will be in the upper teens, aside from the very immediate coast. Now, for Tuesday into Wednesday, we're watching this disturbance here. Let me backtrack here. Let me go to 108 hours. We're watching this disturbance and this disturbance, and to see whether or not they start to interact. Right now, I'm not all that convinced that we're going to see a storm out of this. Okay, there's a lot of moving parts here, but that's also a reason why we need to be wary and watch how this whole system evolves. Because you have your polar vortex locked in, it does produce some blocking here. I mean, you do have a ridge building into Greenland here. So this is a little bit more favorably in position than what we saw in the Malgines from last night. But we have this disturbance here that is likely to keep this rather progressive. If this disturbance is a little bit slower and this disturbance is more of a neutral tilt, then that would lead to more interaction with this disturbance and you get your precipitation shield closer to the coast on Wednesday afternoon. And that's pretty much what we're starting to see with some of the small guidance here. The Canadian, of course, is the most aggressive, producing light snow over the region on Wednesday evening. Again, we'll have to watch this very, very carefully. It could phase. It could be a bigger storm than what's being shown right now. But right now, with this current pattern, because of this disturbance right here, I think we're dealing more of a snow threat for the southeast, like North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, those locations, and then a miss for the northern mid-Atlantic and really much of the mid-Atlantic with this low pressure system. But we have to watch this carefully because we don't have very good sampling of these disturbances with the subtropical jet stream, which is right here, and the polar jet stream right here. So we have to watch this very carefully. I'm using my old 3-day rule. Do not rule out a storm until you're within 3 days, because that's when we get the best sampling coming in with all these models. And just to kind of make a point here, here's our split. Here's our polar jet stream with our polar vortex sending cold air. And here's our subtropical jet stream right here, sending disturbances to interact with the polar jet stream and make things very interesting. Oh, by the way, here's an upper level low, here's a ridge, and as a result, you get this split pattern developing. Very interesting pattern to keep an eye on. You don't want to let your guard down with this. Then moving on, around the 29th, try to say the 30th to the 31st, we have another disturbance that we're going to watch out here. Again, right now it looks like that the way this pattern is setting up, this storm will be a little bit further out into the Atlantic. But again, we have to watch to see how these disturbances interact, because these disturbances that are in place by the time we get to next Friday are still up in the Arctic and over the Central Pacific. So we still don't have a very good timing and understanding of just how strong these disturbances are. A very fluid pattern here that we're dealing with, and one that we need to keep an eye on. We have to keep, basically keep our guard up with this storm. It's kind of like basically a pattern where we have so many disturbances, so many players on the field, that error in the model guidance is pretty high. Then, moving forward, I know everyone's wondering about Super Bowl weekend. Well, unfortunately, if you're going to be at the game, you might need very heavy clothing and a snow shovel. Because what we're going to have here in place is a polar vortex locked in at just the right position here. We got our 50-50 low, we got our polar vortex a little bit further to the west. Perfect setup to slow down any storm that comes in. And here comes our subtropical jet stream with all the moisture. And here you have it on the morning of the Super Bowl, periods of snow over the region. And by the time we get to the evening hours, that snow will be exiting. So by the game time, we might be clearing out here, but there's definitely going to be snow as a threat for Super Bowl weekend. It's going to be fun out there. And oh, by the way, temperatures probably in the upper teens to lower 20s to start the game, and lower teens by the time the game ends, with a nice stiff northerly wind around 15 to 30 miles per hour. Sounds like fun. I'm going to be indoors watching. Thank you very much. Well, that is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and LinkedIn. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.